What artist of yours that you signed are you most proud of? Because you're responsible for a lot of careers out here.
You have to say Kanye West, the most successful at this stage of his career, and his growth and the progress that he's made is like, it's unbelievable. Mm-hmm. You know, like when he first came in, he wasn't the artist that he is today. You know, but he always aspired to be. From that moment, like from the moment he walked through the door, when he was just a producer.
The rise and fall of Jay-Z and Kanye West, a hip-hop brotherhood destroyed. What's up, celebrity program TV family? Before we dive into one of hip-hop's most devastating betrayals, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because we're about to expose the shocking truth behind the collapse of music's most powerful partnership. This is a story that will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about loyalty in the entertainment industry. Picture this: two titans of hip-hop, standing at the pinnacle of success, brothers in arms who conquered the music world together, only to watch their empire crumble in the most public and painful way imaginable. This isn't just another celebrity feud. This is the destruction of a brotherhood that once seemed unbreakable, a partnership that defined an entire generation of hip-hop culture, and a betrayal so deep it sent shockwaves through the entire music industry. Jay-Z and Kanye West. Two names that once meant power, innovation, and unstoppable creative force when mentioned together. Today, they represent one of the most spectacular falls from grace in entertainment history. But how did we get here? How did two men who created magic together, who built empires side by side, who called each other family, end up as bitter enemies whose very mention of each other's names sparks controversy and pain? The year was 2000, and Jay-Z was already establishing himself as one of hip-hop's most formidable forces. But he needed something fresh, something that would elevate his sound to the next level. Enter Kanye West, a hungry, ambitious producer from Chicago with a sound so revolutionary it would change the landscape of hip-hop forever. This wasn't just a business arrangement. This was the birth of a creative partnership that would dominate the charts, influence countless artists, and generate hundreds of millions of dollars. When Jay-Z brought Kanye into the Rockefeller family for The Dynasty, Roc La Familia, nobody could have predicted they were witnessing the beginning of one of music's greatest partnerships. Kanye wasn't just producing beats. He was crafting sonic landscapes that perfectly complemented Jay's lyrical genius. The chemistry was undeniable, the results were immediate, and the success was astronomical. But here's where the story takes its first dramatic turn, and if you're not already subscribed, you need to hit that button now because what comes next will blow your mind. The Blueprint in 2001 wasn't just an album, it was a statement. Kanye's production on tracks like Izzo and Takeover didn't just complement Jay-Z's flows, they elevated them to legendary status. This was the moment when industry insiders realized they weren't just witnessing a collaboration, they were watching the creation of a dynasty. Kanye would later describe that first meeting with Jay-Z as his moment of truth. The young producer was so nervous, so desperate to prove himself, that every word Jay-Z spoke felt like gospel. When Jay-Z took off his hat, something Kanye learned was his way of showing approval. It wasn't just validation. It was the official blessing that would launch one of the most successful careers in hip-hop history. But even in that moment of triumph, the seeds of their eventual destruction were being planted. The success kept coming. The Blueprint 3, Kingdom Come, album after album showcased their undeniable creative synergy. But success in the entertainment industry comes with a price, and that price is often the very relationships that made the success possible. As Kanye's star rose, as he transitioned from producer to superstar artist in his own right, the dynamic began to shift in ways that neither man fully understood at the time. Remember to hit that subscribe button because this story is about to take a turn that nobody saw coming. 2011's Watch the Throne should have been their crowning achievement. Two kings of hip-hop, at the height of their powers, creating art together that would define luxury rap forever. The album was a commercial and critical success, but behind the scenes, cracks were already forming in their brotherhood. The very success that should have cemented their partnership was actually driving them apart. Jay-Z, the seasoned veteran, the businessman, the calculated strategist who had built an empire through careful planning and strategic moves. Kanye, the passionate artist, the unpredictable genius whose brilliance was matched only by his volatility. Two different approaches to success, two different philosophies about life and art, two different ways of handling fame and pressure. What had once been complementary was becoming combustible. The entertainment industry has a way of amplifying every personality trait, every insecurity, every ambition until they become overwhelming forces that can destroy even the strongest bonds. Jay-Z had always been the big brother figure, the mentor who guided Kanye's career from behind the scenes. But as Kanye's influence grew, as his artistic vision expanded beyond music into fashion, politics, and cultural commentary, that dynamic became increasingly complicated. But nothing, and I mean nothing, could have prepared the hip-hop world for what came next. If you haven't subscribed yet, you absolutely need to, because what I'm about to tell you represents one of the most shocking betrayals in entertainment history. The year 2016 marked the beginning of the end, but it wasn't a gradual decline. It was a spectacular, public explosion that left both men wounded and their friendship in ruins. Kanye's infamous St. Pablo tour rant in Sacramento wasn't just a moment of artistic expression or even mental health struggles. It was a public execution of their friendship. Standing on stage in front of thousands of fans, Kanye didn't just criticize Jay-Z. He exposed their private relationship, their business dealings, and their personal conflicts for the entire world to see. This wasn't just breaking the code of friendship. This was obliterating it completely. The accusations were devastating. Kanye claimed Jay-Z had order hits on him, that Beyoncé had refused to perform unless she won over Kanye and Taylor Swift at the VMAs, that Jay-Z was playing political games behind the scenes while pretending to be his friend. These weren't just disagreements between friends. These were nuclear weapons being detonated in public, destroying not just their relationship but damaging their reputations, their brands, and their legacies. Jay-Z's response came through 444, but it wasn't just a musical reply. It was a masterclass in controlled emotion and strategic communication. While Kanye had exploded publicly, Jay-Z responded with calculated vulnerability, admitting their complicated relationship while maintaining his dignity. He called Kanye his brother, expressed love despite their conflicts, but also made it clear that respect had to be mutual. The entertainment industry watched in fascination as two of its most powerful figures engaged in what amounted to psychological warfare through their art. But this wasn't entertainment. This was the real-time destruction of a relationship that had defined hip-hop culture for over a decade. Fans weren't just losing their favorite collaborations. They were witnessing the end of an era. Don't forget to subscribe because this story gets even more intense. Kanye's political awakening, his controversial support for Donald Trump, wasn't just a personal choice. It was a betrayal of everything Jay-Z represented politically and culturally. Jay-Z had spent years building relationships with Democratic leaders, supporting social justice causes, and using his platform to advocate for progressive change. Kanye's red hat wasn't just a fashion statement. It was a direct challenge to everything his former mentor stood for. The Trump support created a rift that went beyond personal disagreements into fundamental questions about identity, responsibility, and the role of Black artists in American society. Jay-Z couldn't just disagree with Kanye's politics. He had to distance himself from them to protect his own brand and beliefs. The man who had once guided Kanye's career was now watching helplessly as his former protege seemed determined to destroy everything they had built together. But the real devastation came with Kanye's anti-Semitic comments in 2022. This wasn't just controversial. This was career suicide that destroyed relationships, business partnerships, and any remaining bridges between Kanye and the entertainment establishment. Jay-Z, who had maintained a careful silence through years of Kanye's increasingly erratic behavior, finally had no choice but to completely cut ties. The silence from Jay-Z speaks volumes. No public statements, no social media responses, no attempts at reconciliation. Just complete, absolute silence that says more than any diss track ever could. This is how relationships die in the entertainment industry, not with dramatic confrontations, but with the deafening sound of someone who once mattered becoming completely irrelevant to your life. Make sure you're subscribed because the psychological impact of this breakdown goes deeper than most people realize. Kanye's tweets about dreaming of apologizing to Jay-Z reveal a man haunted by the destruction of the most important relationship in his professional life. These weren't just business partners, they were family. The loss of that connection, that validation, that brotherhood, has left visible scars on both men. Jay-Z lost more than just a collaborator. He lost the artist he had nurtured from the beginning, the creative partner who had helped define his sound for over a decade. The man who had once been like a son to him had become someone he couldn't even acknowledge publicly. That kind of loss doesn't just affect your career, it changes who you are as a person. The tragedy isn't just personal, it's cultural. Hip-hop lost one of its most powerful creative partnerships. Fans lost the possibility of future collaborations that could have continued to push the boundaries of the genre. The music industry lost a model of how mentorship and creative partnership could work across generations. Everything that their relationship had represented, loyalty, creativity, mutual support, artistic growth, was destroyed in the most public way possible. This is more than just celebrity gossip or entertainment industry drama. This is a cautionary tale about fame, mental health, politics, and the price of success in American culture. It's about how relationships that seem unbreakable can be destroyed by ego, ideology, and the pressure of living in the public eye. It's about how even the strongest bonds can be severed when fundamental values clash irreconcilably. The entertainment industry continues to feel the impact of their broken relationship. Other artists watch and learn about the dangers of mixing personal relationships with business partnerships. The hip-hop community has had to navigate the awkwardness of choosing sides or remaining neutral. The cultural conversation about loyalty, forgiveness, and accountability in celebrity relationships has been forever changed by their public breakdown. Today, Jay-Z continues to build his empire while maintaining his dignity and his silence. Kanye struggles with the consequences of his choices while reportedly dreaming of reconciliation that may never come. Two legends, separated by choices that can't be undone, words that can't be taken back, and damage that may be irreparable. The story of Jay-Z and Kanye West isn't over, but this chapter, the chapter of their friendship, their partnership, their brotherhood, has ended. What remains is the music they created together, the cultural impact they had as a team, and the painful lesson that even the strongest relationships can be destroyed when ego, politics, and mental health collide in the unforgiving spotlight of fame. That's the devastating truth behind one of hip-hop's greatest betrayals. If this story shocked you as much as it shocked me, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell because Celebrity Program TV has more explosive celebrity stories that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Drop a comment below letting me know what you think about this whole situation, and don't forget to check out our other videos for more shocking celebrity revelations. Until next time, keep watching Celebrity Program TV for the stories they don't want you to know.